Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller, back with warning signs. Part, I believe, 4 or 5, I can't remember. Anyhow, affect regulation. I don't know how many of you have heard the word affect. There's different definitions for it, but the definition I choose to use is basically how a person shows their emotions from their facial expressions. You'll be surprised, or maybe you won't be, how many people that have been traumatized as children, their affect does not line up with their emotions. So they can be totally happy on the inside and have a straight face on the outside. They can be angry and have the same look on their face that they have when they're happy, sad, confused, or anything. In my current relationship, that's the case. Trauma victims learn not to show their emotions, probably out of self-protection, self-preservation, not wanting the other person to know, especially the victimizer, to know how they feel, because if they know how they feel, they may react to it in a bad way. So to avoid getting attacked or punished, they put on a flat affect. The affect regulation I'm talking about here is the inability to tolerate and recover from severe states. In other words, somebody with an affect problem has a lot of trouble with fear, anger, and shame. They may overreact to things. Somebody that has an affect problem with fear or anger may become very frustrated and agitated to the point that their reaction does not fit the situation. In my ex-husband, he had a social phobia of a sort, and it was mostly when we were driving in the car. And some of the medicines that he was on made this even worse, to where if a car got too close, not that it was like right on top of us while we were driving, but if I was driving and a car got too close, he would flip out, start screaming and yelling, "Oh my God, you're going to crash into that car. Don't get so close to them." And he would just like go ballistic. And he would become very, very irate and angry with me for like the rest of the day because he didn't feel I was driving safely, even though I was in my lane and that car was just like slightly near the line in the other lane. So it was like a prolonged, intense anger, extreme temper tantrum, and it would make him immobilized the rest of the day, where he would just freeze, like almost go into a state of emotional shock. So that's one sign of affect regulation that can cause really bad long-term problems in your relationships. If you notice your partner or even you have this problem where you take things way out of context, become very angry for a very long time, you need to see a therapist, because that is not healthy, it's out of balance, and it will cause major problems. So get some help for that if that's you, or help your partner get some help if you can. Okay, and they don't recover very quickly from things. That's the other thing. You may have done one little thing that upset them, and they cannot let it go. They either keep bringing it up, or you can tell the rest of the day that they're still upset over it, and they're not changing any. They're not coming to a place of, you did it, it's okay, I can get over it. They don't get over things. They just hold them. Sometimes they take them into other aspects of your day, or even other relationships. In fact, they may be carrying over some of their grief or their anger or their shame or fear from another relationship into your current relationship. And you feel like you're always on the receiving end of this victimization that was really a carryover from something else they've been through that had nothing to do with you. Again, get some help if that's the case, because it's not healthy for you or for them. Okay. Another thing trauma does is it disturbs the regulation of bodily functions. So if you've been traumatized, or somebody you know have been traumatized, they may not sleep very well. They may have sleep deprivation problems. They may eat totally wrong. They may be eating a lot of sugar, a lot of sweets, a lot of starch, a lot of really unhealthy things, because their body just doesn't know how to, I guess you could say, crave the things that are healthy for it. Their body's been thrown off. Believe it or not, trauma can cause a lot of bodily changes, physically, psychologically, physiologically. It can affect the elimination cycle. They may have diarrhea or be constipated. They may not have regular bowel movements. They may have all kinds of elimination problems because of trauma. We already talked about overreactivity. There's also underreactivity to touch and sounds. A lot of times, things that you think should bother somebody don't even affect them, don't phase them at all. They just sit there very calmly without it even mattering to them. So that's another thing with trauma. They don't have proper reactions to things that they should be reacting to. They're very disorganized during routines, just like normal everyday things like getting up and getting dressed. They just they don't move. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. They're not motivated, I guess. They're not self-motivated. They literally have to be told what to do, and then they resent you for telling them what to do. It's just a really hard thing being in a relationship with somebody that's been traumatized. There's a lot to work through. That's why I don't rush the whole commitment thing, because you've got lots of time to practice getting through communication gaps and defense mechanisms and reactions that aren't healthy. You've got a lot of balancing off to do throughout the relationship, so don't be in a big hurry. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk a little bit more about bodily sensations and how trauma affects that. Thanks for watching.